The second practice is a TOEFL iBT integrated writing task. First, you will have 3 minutes to read an essay. Then you will listen to a lecture for about 2 minutes. And then you have 20 minutes to write an essay response integrating the reading and the listening. So while you're reading and listening, you should be taking good notes so that you can use it later to make the essay response. So, are you ready to take on this challenge? Okay, let's get started.
Now listen to part of a lecture on the topic you just read about.
No memoir can possibly be correct in every detail, but still, the Chevalier's memoir is pretty accurate overall and is, by and large, a reliable historical source. Let's look at the accuracy of the 3 episodes mentioned in the reading. First, the loan from the merchant. Well, that doesn't mean that the Chevalier was poor. Let me explain. We know that in Switzerland, the Chevalier spent huge amounts of money on parties and gambling, and he had wealth, but it was the kind of property you have to sell first to get money. So it usually took a few days to convert his assets into actual money. So when he ran out of cash, he had to borrow some while he was waiting for his money to arrive. But that's not being poor. Second, the conversations with Voltaire. The Chevalier states in his memoir that each night, immediately after conversing with Voltaire, he wrote down everything he could remember about that particular night's conversation. Evidently, the Chevalier kept his notes of these conversations for many years and referred to them when writing the memoir. Witnesses who lived with the Chevalier in his later life confirm that he regularly consulted notes and journals when composing the memoir. Third, the Chevalier's escape from the prison in Venice. Other prisoners in that prison had even more powerful friends than he did, and none of them were ever able to bribe their way to freedom, so bribery hardly seems likely in his case. The best evidence, though, comes from some old Venetian government documents. They indicate that soon after the Chevalier escaped from the prison, the ceiling of his old prison room had to be repaired. Why would they need to repair a ceiling unless he had escaped exactly as he said he did?
Now that you've finished your 20-minute writing response, I'm going to go ahead and share my notes and a sample writing based on those notes. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first part is the layout. Which one did you choose? Listing, columns, or clustering? For me, I went ahead and chose columns because I know that in the integrated writing task, the reading and the listening are always contradicting each other. So I think columns can best convey that. I also know from the reading task that there are 3 parts, so I also went ahead and drew lines in between. So as you can see from my notes here, the left-hand side is the reading, which talks about that the memoir is wrong, and the right-hand side is the lecture, which is trying to say that the memoir is accurate. So down here is my sample writing response, and I'm going to go ahead and share line by line and try to show you how I made these sentences based on the notes. Ooh, and by the way, if you do need a PDF version of this to download, you can go ahead and download that from my website. Okay? All right, let's get started. So, the introduction. The lecturer mentioned 3 points to prove the accuracy of Chevalier's memoir against the article's descriptions that doubted the accuracy. And the first body here, first, the article doubted Chevalier's wealth when he was in Switzerland because he borrowed money from a Swiss merchant. So here, money, Swiss merchant, borrowed money, not rich. However, the lecturer clarified Chevalier borrowed the money because he was waiting for his valued assets, like properties, to be sold to exchange for money during emergencies. Therefore, he was not poor. Body number 2. Okay. Second, the article questioned the conversations between him and Voltaire on his memoir because those conversations were written into the memoir many years after the conversations happened, which could not have been remembered so accurately. So convos between Voltaire, not true, written many years after. To the contrary, the lecture proved that Chevalier recorded the conversations at night when the meeting happened. And witnesses, I drew an I here to show witnesses, confirmed that he consulted his notes regularly when writing the memoir. And that's body 2. Body 3, we have over here. The third, the article doubted the account of Chevalier escaping the prison escape by digging a hole in the ceiling hole here. Instead, the article believes that he bribed himself out of prison. However, the lecture argues that there were more powerful people that could not bribe themselves out of jail. Also, the prison's documents showed that it had replaced the ceiling. Okay, check meaning replaced, fixed, after Chevalier escaped. ESC, escape. If the escaping account was not true, why did the prison need to change the ceiling of the room? Actually, I realize there's a grammar error. If the escaping account were not true. Anyways, but yeah, now the conclusion. Summarizing the above 3 reasons, Chevalier's memoir had high accuracy because first, Chevalier borrowed the money because he was waiting for his property to exchange to money, which is this part here. Second, Chevalier recorded the conversations at night after the meeting happened, and witnesses confirmed that he used those notes in his memoir, second part here. And third, the office document proves the accuracy of escaping the prison through a hole in the ceiling here. So the conclusion is based on the listening lecture, which is trying to prove that the memoir is actually accurate. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful. And of course, keep practicing. Try to practice different kinds of layouts and use symbols so that you can attain as much information as you can in a short amount of time. So that you can use them when you actually write the essay. Okay? All right, so I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.